Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm going to do a little broadcast. I don't know if you all have heard about somebody named Eliza Blue, but I'll explain what's going on, why I put that in the title. Is I got some things I want to say about that situation. It's been brewing for uh, over a week, and Elon Musk has been drug into it, and a lot of channels are doing stories on it, and I got my own take on the matter. Uh, but if you notice my thumbnail, I had a picture of Mr. T walking by, and he's got a certain number on his sleeve. So my question is, long haul. Are we in for the long haul? Or is it a messaging thing meant to distract people? So also I put in there, laws or whims. We want to live by laws or whims. And so much of what we see in the changing political landscape seems to be politicians putting their fingers up, wetting their fingers, sticking it up, and seeing where the wind's blowing and whatever whim is going on in the party electorate that has lobbyists' ears. So, and we're not paying attention, or at least our elected representatives have not been paying attention to the letter of the law. If they were, we wouldn't be having these situations in the schools. We wouldn't be having these situations where legislation has to be passed, where young people, when they come of age, if they feel they were abused, that they can sue. That they should have never been put in this situation in the first place if they followed existing law. So anyway, we got a lot to talk about, and I want to see who all's in the chats. So let's see, who do I see? Sonny, Quilt. Hi, Nikki B. Greg, how you doing? B-Dog, Sharon, Mike, how you doing? 1176. Bubba, there he is. How you doing? Hope. Georgia was in here. And we got two Georgias. Ha ha. There's Debbie now. Usually we get two Debbies. Now we got two Georgias. So hi Melinda. Hi Outlandish. How you doing? So it's nice to meet you, Georgia Pappas. And hi Donna. Shadow Dancer. Everybody's coming in. Hi Nix. Wanda saying hello to Outlandish Patriot. Let's see. White Lightning. There's Debbie. There we got two Debbies. Three. We got three. Happy days. All right. You can't have too many Debbies. You can't have too many mountain men. So anyway, folks, as I was talking about last night, Trump has been putting out a lot of videos that are very specific. And one I didn't bring up was one he did on Friday, where he was talking about these peaceful protests that were being geared up for the weekend. And I had asked the question, now, why would they put that video out on a Friday leading up to the weekend? When they could have done it a couple of days earlier, maybe diffused it a little bit. But I checked before I came live. I said, there aren't a lot of stories going around. There's the usuals. You got, Portland is just a never-ending riot for 2 years. I haven't heard anything substantial. I'm sure it's upheaval and disturbances here and there, but not like what they were hoping for. Much like with the Night of Rage, they were scheduling for the Roe v. Wade leak, and we're still looking for the leaker. And I think Mr. T hinted, well, I won't say that he pointed any fingers, but he did say how to get the leaker, what he would do. But anyway, one thing he did when he was talking about this upheaval and unrest, or peaceful unrest, uh, he called out Georgie Porgio by name, Soriosio. And I know the majority of you all know that, but I'm sure there are some people in the conversation or who are joining the conversation that didn't know that. As a matter of fact, millions of Americans and people around the world are getting introduced to that individual along with Klaus, and the second name is Schwab, Klaus. So these are people that are coming out. My thumbnail yesterday was Invisible Enemy, and well, they're starting to come out of the shadows. Hi, Karen. Hi, Lori. Hi, Carol. Novita, how you doing? So they're starting to come out of the shadows. Now, we've got Trump giving mixed signals. The golf shirt has on his sleeve 47. To a casual observer, that means, oh, he's going to run 2024, and we're going to have to do a long haul. We're going to have to slog through 2023 and 2024 till November 2024, and we may have to. I don't know. But then again, he's given hints that things can't continue to go on the way they're going. And once again, we've had articles come out concerning Trump being a peacemaker and somehow getting involved with putting an end to the conflict in UKR. People are warming up to that idea in the media, and it's being talked about more and more. And as I said in Godfather 3, blessed is the peacemaker. He'll be considered a child of God. Tennessee, how you doing, Tennessee Ridge Runner, the cameraman? So anyway, we can get into that in a little bit. It could be just moves and counter moves and keeping people off balance. They really can't plan. And, if they feel like he's coming, whether, it's going to be in 3 months or next week or 2024, they're going to keep trying to stop him. Now, the latest is that they've impaneled this grand jury. I said last night, who's going to stop him? How are they going to stop him? They know they got to stop Trump. They're trying to toss DeSantis in there to trip him up or to cause a divide in the party. And actually, I think that's going to unify the party more than anything else. But because there's, as I said before, there's got to be alternatives. Not everybody's going to be overly enamored with just Trump. That's why they make something else besides vanilla ice cream. Okay. But we all like ice cream, right? But anyway, I got to make me a coffee. But anyway, I'll keep talking. So what are they going to do to stop him? Well, they introduced the grand jury concerning Stormy. You remember that? She had a lawyer. What was his name? Michael Avenatti. Yeah, he's like in the joint for a long time, and she owes Trump a substantial amount of money. But they are still trying to indict him on anything they can. And like they say with grand juries, you can indict a ham sandwich with grand juries. Now, Trump did make a statement about that. Let me get my spectacles on, and I'll pull that up. Hi, Marla. I had an aunt named Marla. Let me see. Let me get my spectacles on. So anyway, Trump already clued in on that and made a statement. Let's see. He said the statute of limitations had gone by. Oh, something else I'm going to bring up. My friend Oakman, I talked with him today. We're going to be putting something together. And he's given me a little statement. He said to me that I'm sure he's not going to mind me reading to you. So anyway, things are stable, about as stable as you can get. He put out a statement saying that the statute of limitations has passed, and she owed him a lot of money, and that they're desperate to do anything to get rid of him. But I'll see if I got a screenshot of that. Here it is. With murders and violent crimes. Let me make sure my timer's going here. Okay, before I get into that. Sometimes my stream jumps off. Like never before in New York City, the radical left Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, just leaked to the fake news media that they are still going after the Stormy, quote, horse-faced Daniels bull. Working closely with the weaponized Justice Department, this is a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. They long ago missed the statute of limitations. I recently won big money against Stormy in the Ninth Circuits. Never had an affair, in all caps. This is old news. So, yeah, it's old news, but they're going to keep repeating it like it's new news. So we got to get the word out for him as best we can. And I found it interesting. They're trying to tear down the police, and I will play. I see what you're saying, Donna. They're trying to tear down the police and replace it with that video I played, a short clip of Obama saying we need a civilian force that is financed as much or better than the military. They want to bring their own radicals in. And since I'm on that subject real quick, how many of you all remember an outfit called ACORN? Okay? And I'm sure that's another term that's being watched. Acorn. Okay? I'll just say that one time. That was the outfit Obama used when he was first elected. They disbanded that because there were so many campaign violations, so many violations of law, and outfits like that don't go away, okay? They just changed their names. ISIS, ISIL, okay? Remember? ISIS is gone now. We got a new outfit, ISIL. Well, ACORN's gone. Now we got BLM. Now we got anti, and then the rest is fa. Okay, it's the same bunch, and that's who Obama wanted to finance. Hi, honey, how you doing? So let me see. I have to go. I can't right now, Atlantis. And you put that name in there without any vowels. The name of that competing social site they don't like us to talk about. Outlandish. TS. And that's why I always go truth, and then the other word is social. But you put it all in there, buddy. You got to change that for me. Because I'm losing where I was at in my discussion. But there is a story out, since we're talking about this, that UTISL's huge cover-up. They just had internal censorship documents revealed, okay? And that's on a YouTube video called The Quartering. I've talked about him in the past, and I'm going to refer to him as I talk about this Eliza Blue situation, who I never heard of till now. Now, going down memory lane, Eliza, I haven't heard that name in I don't know how many years. But how many of y'all remember Chickens running round my door, little Liza Jane. Ooh. Are y'all still with me? Am I still tuned in, or did I drop off? Let me see. Okay. Here it is. Sometimes the clock stops and my chat stop, and I gotta gear it back up. Okay. I'm here now. I see. No, Maria said no sound. I'm sorry, honey. I'm back. Now we got 5x5. Except Wanda said, "You hear me now?" How long was I out? A minute? 2 minutes? I tell you, I could have a heart attack and fall over, and some people just go, "Oh, well, let me go to the next video." They just click off and go somewhere else. Ha ha. But anyway, I was saying UTISL has got some documents that have been revealed, and I was talking about how I had a thumbnail. Me and Red did a program one night, and I had a thumbnail that said "Orange Man Rad," and it had a real cool picture of Trump, and that got taken down so fast, even though we were careful what we were saying. Bubba said 2 minutes. Oh, my word. All right. Well, I'm back. Hilarious 2 said a minute. Okay. Well, let me see. Yeah. Okay. Uh, anyway, no, I can't go to that site while I am live because I don't have any volume. So I can't do that. Now, you never know. I mean, I've I've watched his communications up to the minute I go live, and sometimes he'll post stuff while I'm live. So if you're not on that site, TS, you might want to get on there because you never know what's going to crop up. So let's see. I'm just checking the chats. Now, this business, did y'all get to hear me sing Little Liza Jane? I hope so. I don't want to sing that again. Hi, Doug. I'll sing it again. Do y'all remember that from school? Ooh, Eliza. Maybe that's why I got kicked off. So I don't know. Maybe y'all got to hear me sing Little Liza Jane. But anyway, that's the last time I ever heard the name Eliza, till this new situation with Eliza Blue. I might as well get into that. part of the song. Well, I only remember part of it. You probably don't want me to. Georgia don't want to hear me sing. Well, anyway, when we went to school, since Hilarious 2 didn't hear my song, Hope heard me. Hope said, I heard you. Anyway, we went to school, and there was a song that we learned when I guess kindergarten, first grade, called Eliza Jane. And it went, ooh, Eliza, little Eliza Jane, chickens running round my door, little Eliza Jane. Ooh, Eliza, little Eliza Jane. Ha ha. Y'all remember that song? And it had cartoon kids running around trying to catch a chicken, and it was just something that all the kids sang and kind of stomped their feet and clapped their hands while they were singing it. And it made me think, I'm going way off subject now, but like my grandparents. And speaking of The Godfather, when you see scenes of when Don Vito first came to New York back in the early 1900s, 1910, 20, 30, and even when you look at The Sopranos when they're doing scenes in New Jersey in the 1990s, they had live chicken houses right there where you get fresh eggs, and they raised chickens. But in New York, they had them running around the streets. I mean, people raise their own poultry and their own eggs. And so anyway, this Eliza Jane, she came out with some statements that she was going to assist in exposing and stopping exploitation of little ones, right? And the common term is trafficking. You didn't hear the song in Los Angeles? Well, you're young, I'm sure. My singing broke down the song. But anyway, so she came out and said that she was a victim and that she wanted to help others. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And whoever she is, I don't know. Well, the next thing you know, everybody goes, I'm not going to mention any names, but it turns into this big blow up situation where people go and find video clips of her shaking her rear end and behaving in a very lewd way in music videos, or still photographs of her in very suggestive poses. And they start questioning her. She said she had a certain number of acres on a facility, like a safe house, that she was going to be starting for people who have been victims. Okay. So right away, it's like, no, is it true that, or she just trying to take advantage of the situation? Where's this safe house at? Nobody knows anything about it. It sounds like a bunch of talk. And like I say, digging up the past and posting videos on Twitter and YouTube. And they got taken down. They got knocked off Twitter. So right away, excuse me while I was sipping my coffee. So, boy, that's good. So right away, oh, my free speech has been violated. A number of creators. I'm not picking on any single one of them. And I'm not going to back down. I'm posting videos that are public videos, and then another guy jumps in. I got kicked off too. I had a video up of her 6 years ago. It only had, I don't remember, 6,000 views. And it went up all of a sudden to 130,000 views, and it got taken down by YouTube. And so right away, it turns out that this woman, Eliza, who like I say, I've never heard of, and I'm sure millions of other people have never heard of, is supposedly colluding with Elon Musk and violating people's free speech. And all of a sudden, these guys are the victims. Okay. The only creators I heard getting involved in this were guys. And some of them I was kind of disappointed. It's like, I've only been doing this since last year, and I got my own little broadcast thing. I say what I want to say, and there you have it, But, this is bread and butter for a lot of people, and, they go with the clicks. So, they're upset, and then they decide to turn it into this big free speech battle. And the back and forth with this Eliza person, and going back to find even more embarrassing or raunchy pictures and put them up, Photoshop pictures of her with a beard, mocking, and still saying they're a victim. And I'm like, these guys are adults. And I thought to myself, when I first heard this star, who I never heard of, was coming out against exploitation, you know what that does to a career. If you are famous, if you are a performer that has a following, and you come out and talk about Jeffrey E., okay, you talk about how they recruit, also known as GROOM, okay, this is what this person was doing. And I before all this stuff started, my first instinct was, oh, good, that's more people jumping on the bandwagon, bringing a spotlight with their fame, bringing a spotlight on how young people can be led astray and their lives degenerate into something they can't recover from. Well, here they come, going back in the Wayback Machine, or finding some gross video she was a part of that she now is embarrassed of. These videos are like 9, 10, 15 years old, okay? And they go out of their way to say, oh, you're against exploitation of children. Look at this video. Look at her shaking her rear end. Look at her with a scantily clad. Look how nasty she is. And they get taken down, and they feel like they've been wounded. These grown men. And okay, technically, legally, fair use, public domain, you have the right to do it. But when this first controversy first came up, I thought I'd try to get a hold of one of the creators and talk to him like a Dutch uncle. I've used that term in the past to say, look, why would you do that? This person is making a public commitment to shine a light on something most of us in our community recognize as a severe problem. And I have used the term for a humanitarian crisis, okay, in our own country. Why would you, as a grown man, automatically go back to find the raunchiest things of their past and shove it in their face when they're trying, at least saying they're trying to expose this stuff? Number one, do you know what kind of risk they're taking? Number two, to demand that they give proof that they have been abused? Who are these characters? Who do they think they are? And here's a good term for them to look up that's gone by the wayside. Whatever happened to chivalry? Okay? Whatever happened to being a gentleman? Whatever happened to, as Christ said, go and sin no more? Why go through and dig up all that stuff from the past? What kind of What kind of a gentleman does that? What kind of a conscientious adult does that? It's like going to a party and everybody's standing around and with their little snacks and chit chatting in groups before they have a dinner or something. And you walk up and say, "Oh, is that your wife? Wow, I knew a guy that dated her in high school." And, just being obnoxious and looking for ways to embarrass a person who speaks out. So, yes, you got knocked off of Twitter. A number of them did. And I put a comment in one of their videos last night, very shortly after it was posted, and there were not many comments. And I didn't take a screenshot of it. I could go back and find it, but I said basically, you're burning a lot of bridges and losing money, because that's one of the gripes they were saying. I'm losing money because I'm off Twitter. I can't get a hold of my 250,000 followers, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep on posting what I can legally post because it's my free speech. Well, it's obnoxious speech and mean-spirited, and it's not germane to what this person is trying to accomplish. So it's crass, and they were acting like another word we haven't heard in a long time, a CUR. Okay, look that up. CUR, a cur, or a CAD, a CAD. Okay, so these are all terms that have gone by the wayside, but you see the behaviors that those terms represent. And people can't quite put their finger on it. They don't want to go against free speech, but they don't want to support somebody who's lambasting somebody who's coming out against and putting a spotlight on human trafficking. Okay? Instead of supporting that young lady, I don't care if what her trip ups, you don't know, she might have been taught when she was 14, 13, 15, 16, or whatever, that this was acceptable. And as she turned into an adult, said, "Oh my God, look at what I've done." It's like somebody does a gross TikTok video when they're young, and they smack their forehead like, "Why did I do that?" And then you got these characters coming around saying, "Look at this, look what we found." So I put in there that you're burning a lot of bridges, you're losing a lot of money, and just drop it. And sure enough, today one of them came out and said, "Oh, I'm back up on Twitter." And from what I remember, is the only way they could get back up on Twitter is if they removed the offending post. And he said he would never do. No, I'm never going to do it. It's my right. Well, I have the right to be obnoxious. I have the right to be foul-mouthed on this platform. There's plenty of them that do it, but I choose not to. Okay, just because I can doesn't mean I'll do it. I'm going to do this just because I can. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And I was going to talk to this person and say, "Why don't you turn this negative into a positive? Why don't you reach out to this young person or this lady or whatever?" I don't know her exact age, but I know the stuff they were showing was a decade old and more. Why don't you tell them that you want to help them? Help them expose the dark side of the entertainment industry. Why don't you collaborate with them to interview them on your program so they can tell you what they're going to do? Don't challenge them from afar. "I don't believe you were trafficked. I don't believe you have a home set up for maybe she does and maybe she doesn't, but I haven't seen any proof of it." What in the heck is that a way to act? And if somebody had a safe house for people that needed help, what idiot would tell somebody where it was? It was just a obnoxious thing to watch from people I thought more of. I'll put it that way. And I don't want to be too rough on them. I don't want to call any names out. But the cornball deal is now they're back on Twitter, but because Twitter made a formal change in their rules. So, since they did that, they're going to drop the battle. I guess they took down their tweets, I guess. But the real bottom line is maybe they read my post last night where I said, you're losing too much money and it's a bad look. Drop it. Maybe that was good enough for them. I hope so. And if they listen to this and listen to the things I said, there are times when you need to be a gentleman. And it's not a sexist statement. Because people can drag up people's pasts and hurt them very badly. And I didn't see any creative purpose to the posts they were doing about this lady. And all I saw was an attempt to mock, or maybe it was I'm not saying it was certainly an attempt to mock. Maybe it was an attempt to mock. Maybe it was an attempt to discredit. Maybe it was an attempt to get more clicks. Maybe it was an attempt there was no attempt to help her with her message. That's what I got a problem with. And at the same time, I'll hear these creators talk about, I heard one of them talking about Tim Pool. I can't believe he makes that much money. I've been working for years and I'm not making that kind of money. I got 250,000 followers. Well, maybe they aren't getting down to that juvenile gutter business. Maybe they're trying to have real conversations where other people are looking for answers. Okay? Everybody's searching for answers together, not looking around for a rock to pick up and throw at somebody who decides to try to change their life. So that's my preaching on that. I don't know how this Eliza Blue will perform. I don't know how effective she'll be. But I rebuke anybody that's out there throwing rocks at her. They even got a legal channel involved that put up a video. Eliza Blue's threatening to sue. We're going to be on that. Obviously she's ashamed or hurt by these past images being dredged up. And it clouds the message she's trying to put out. Obviously. And I don't know why anyone would do it other than spite. Now, who's that one? Kim Kardashian. Okay. She hasn't rejected Balenciaga. As a matter of fact, she put out a statement in support of it. She's still on that bandwagon. Do you see anybody picking on her or putting up harmful videos or bringing up bad memories about her? But the one who comes out about a subject everybody's concerned about, they dogpile. So anyway, if you see that kind of stuff, I say rebuke it. Maybe don't click on it. Don't give them any clicks. And these people need to grow up as far as I'm concerned and help everybody face the problems we have in this country. Because that is the root where we've got people teaching young people. That brings me to laws or whims. I tell you, where I grew up, they still have one-room schoolhouses. You can find them. You had a teacher that was perfectly capable of taking an area of children within walking distance and teaching subjects from first grade to 12th grade. And I guarantee you, they knew 10 times the reality of what's being taught in these mausoleums, these temples, these monstrosities they build and pack all the kids in. And then you've got the blue-haired, union-financed radicals that have one class to teach, one goofball class to teach. They can't do it over and over and over again. But back in the day, you had one teacher that could take them all the way through 12 grades, and they were smart when they came out. And they could write cursive too. But anyway, so we've got this education system that has been geared for at least the past 20 years. I hate to say it. I really think it started in earnest in the 90s, where it is a whim. It's not reality. It is, this climate business is a whim in somebody's brain, okay? Where you send kids home feeling guilty because they flushed the toilet or because they, I don't know, ate a chicken McNugget or something, you know. So we've got kids that are being taught whatever goofy fad is going about that's going to cause disruption to our culture and our society. And what is the hot topic now that people are finally tuning in on is promiscuity. Okay, just like Eliza Blue is rejecting now, that's being rubbed in her face. And the questioning your natural condition. Okay, so both those things are destructive to a family unit. So, you know, I understand people want to get clicks and get in arguments about their free speech, but you're not going to have much free speech if you have these whimsical radicals that don't understand the law, don't understand the Constitution. They go on these fads and whims, and you get on their bad side, you'll see how much freedom of speech you got. And we found out how much freedom of speech we had when Twitter was run by radicals like that. Now it's not. And Elon Musk could have cared less about any of those YouTube creators that got banned. He probably doesn't even know about it, but they act like there's a big conspiracy, or that Eliza may be having an affair with Elon Musk. He probably doesn't even know nothing about it. You're posting things to intentionally harm somebody psychologically and discredit them, even though you had the right to do it. You weren't being gentlemanly. And you don't have to be gentlemanly, but the way the rules are written now on Twitter, you don't have to be gentlemanly. But if you want to act like that, brutish and like a cad, you've got to go to another site. Okay, so anyway, isn't that what Satan's all about? Is whims. A whim, without using your brain. The one thing we've got over all other creatures, the soul and the brain. Okay? You logic, reason. Animals can't reason. And it's suspended. Reason and logic is suspended in favor of whims. And as a society, we have to take a look at exactly what this young lady's trying to talk about. exploitation. It doesn't have to be about the music industry. It doesn't have to be about Balenciaga. When you encourage a child to act on whims or fantasy, and you don't have the ability or the desire to teach them about their country, about the laws, about natural law, about real science, okay? And you just teach them your whims. It's much like Trump said. It's the establishment clause. It's the establishment of their own beliefs, their own religion. Now they could say, no, it's not religion. We don't have a name for it, like Protestant or Jewish, or we don't have. Well, you are certainly part of a distinct group that has shared beliefs, okay? And that's the first step of exploiting young ones, is to get them thinking in ways that are not realistic. And if an adult is unfortunate enough to believe their unrealistic views, like the skater, did you all see the skater over in Europe somewhere, falling, flopping around on the ice, and hair on the armpits, weighs 220 pounds, and considers himself a female? Okay, you got people that have that kind of problem. That you're talking about a universal mental illness. And how can you trick somebody into doing how can you exploit somebody? You don't let them know their rights. You don't let them know where they stand. You don't let them know right from wrong. So they'll do what? They'll make bad decisions, and they won't know it. So anyway, it was in Finland, the skater. That was painful to watch, Shadow Dancer. Yeah, I mean, I fell down before and hurt my ankle and laughed. That's kind of the pain it was. You just got to laugh at it, but it hurt still. Hi, Robin, how you doing? So anyway, exploitation begins with whether you intend to or not misleading a child. Whether you think you're doing the right thing. Like my dad used to say, people get in big trouble when they think they know what they're doing, not when they know. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I've been seeing it for a week, and I've seen it grow on different channels. This controversy over this Eliza Blue. She's barely been able to make one interview with somebody where she brought up Jeffrey E. Okay. She wanted to stay away from that guy that got arrested. I forget his name. I don't care. I already said what I think of him. The one doing the fans only things and splitting the money with the girls. I don't care about him. If he's not dealing with people who are very young. But anyway, she got a chance to do a couple of interviews, and that's as far as she got. And they were on her thinking, oh, wow, this video get a lot of clicks. It's Elijah from 2012. Ha, ha, ha. Well, I don't think much of that behavior. And I hope somebody puts a bug in their ear that listens to this, or somebody who has the same point of view as to the institution of being a gentleman and the institution of chivalry needs to be revived. Okay? Needs to be revived. And, hey, I'm far from perfect, and I've been rough around the edges in my day. And I've been insensitive, but I've also been chivalrous. Okay. And more often, I've been chivalrous than not because that's the way I was raised. What's hilarious too, trying to say? Let me see what's going on in the chats here. Oh, okay. You guys are going through the book. That's right, Outlandish Patriot. I'm going to put you on the screen again. That's the way they're drifting away. They're drifting away. And I see these content creators, they want to stand for free speech. And then at the same time, I see this video come up about the documents being exposed for censorship on YouTube, right? So it's okay to dogpile this lady who's trying to do what she's trying to do. And one of them even said, I don't get what the big deal is. Nobody even heard of her until this started. Well, yeah, so why did you do it? Why did you insist on continuing to do it? Why not give her an opportunity to start a new program, okay, with a new focus with her life? Why do you have to drag up the past and shove it in her face and turn it into a big controversy? Now she's got millions of people that know about her now. And he didn't see what the big deal was. Well, anyway, all the while, these creators that are concerned about their freedom of speech as bashing this woman, you don't hear them talk about, barely brush over many of the issues I talk about. I do it in code sometimes. I encourage you all to do it in code too. But these are things that need to be talked about, especially when they do movie reviews, games, things like that, that are issues that have to do with our young people. They only talk in generalities. Like the new movie that's out called Thelma or Velma, the Scooby-Doo remake. It turned out to have a bunch of nasty innuendos in there, racist garbage, culture altering rhetoric on these whims rather than how life really is. And the most you get out of them is it's terrible because it's woke. And some generalized mocking and talking about it. They don't get into the cultural depth. And I've talked about Styx Hexenhammer, and I've talked about Tim Pool in the past, and I've heard these other characters refer to them and what kind of revenue they're generating. But that's because they're getting into content that's leagues above this kind of mockery and games. And discussing the changes in our culture, nobody talks about what it does to our children to have Superman kissing a young male, okay? Or being abused in prison by other men. Superman. That's the kind of stuff that needs to be broached and discussed. Like they are the ages they are. They're in their 30s, and they're still talking about games and movies like little kids instead of getting cultural issues that I'm talking about now. Now I've let this pretty much dominate the whole conversation, but it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I kept quiet about it. I will mention real quick, we could talk about it in a future broadcast. This character that broke into the Pelosi home. Did you all see where he gave an interview, telephone interview? And he also published a manifesto on the internet. And I'm bringing it up because they're trying to paint him. I think somebody is trying to paint him as a conservative because he mentions something about a world order and corporations taking over people's freedoms. Now, I know we got questions about what happened that night. We got questions about who this person is. Did they change him out? Did they doctor the footage or a lot of things, But I thought everybody was pretty much on the same page that this guy was living in a community commune or some kind of hippie hole where everybody was BLM and they, nothing you would see a MAGA person come out of, okay? But now this manifesto that he is talking about, that would be interesting to see what the internet sleuths come up with about the origins of that, the timestamps on it, when it was published. Because I remember hearing that either his ex-wife had said when he first got arrested that he had mental illness, but it's my understanding that they were both involved with the Pelosi's and the state representatives there in California in that area to do the gay pride parades that we saw footage of where people were out and out breaking existing law and acting in a lewd and lascivious way around children. So, I can't imagine, that this is a stretch to make this guy out to be some kind of conservative, but that is the way it's looking that they're trying to do this. So we're going to see more about this, and we're going to find out more about his spouse, who I think is in jail right now, or I don't know if she's been tried for messing with somebody who was younger than her. I'll put it that way. And it was not the first time, from my memory, my understanding. But we'll find out more about that. But I'm coming up on my hour, and I haven't even said that I appreciate everybody who's helped the channel in Buy Me a Coffee. Aaron came through, and I've got a link in the description. I do not want to go over an hour, folks, but I've got a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee if you want to help the channel out. And here's everybody that's helped me since I started last year, and I appreciate all of you. You're on the screen there. Aaron, Robin, Kirsten, Wanda, Sandy, Norman, Dory, Pamela, Nikki B, Camperman, Sin, Mac, K and S, Killer Fuzz, somebody, 1 and 2. So, yeah, if you all want to help the channel out, I got a link in the description. And we can talk more about this, what they're doing as far as trying to get peaceful protests in all these different cities, even though the latest happened nowhere near New York. They're trying to do things in New York. They're trying to do things in all the major cities, and it seems to me like it's falling on its face. So we'll get into that in future broadcasts, but I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And this is Mountain Man, over and out.